Well, this is the April garden tour. It's been pretty cold even for April here in Zone 5 in Illinois. This morning it snowed. Had a light coating of snow all over everything. You can still see the water. Places where it snowed, melted. Daffodils are blooming, just coming on. All the ground cover phlox down here coming back to life. I planted those trumpet vines over here. I don't see they're doing anything yet. I should have put stakes where they are so I'd know where I planted them. Should always do that. Looks like Japanese iris, I think. Dianthus. Let's hope it comes back. Yeah, the daffodils are just starting. Here's these bushes I planted out here. They look like they're coming on just fine. Those are Nanking bush cherry. They actually are edible, but I actually planted them for the birds because the birds like them a lot too. I'm going to move these mystery lilies. They're really neat. They send up the foliage now, and then later on in the fall they send up just the flower. It's a pink flower. It's one of the prettier bulbs. A lot of irises out here. Daylilies. A lot of tulips, but none of them are blooming. It's way too early for tulips to be blooming. These here are alpine rosy bells. I got some more of those up by the house. What is that? I've been planting so much stuff here over the years. I even forget what that is too. But there's more of it right there. Seems like every time it gets windy, more trash blows in here and I have to go around and pick it all up. This here is Penstemon, and there's like several hills of it along here that I planted, but it grows mostly in the spring. It's supposed to be, I planted it because hummingbirds like it. There's another hill of it right here. But hummingbirds like red tubular flowers the most. But I don't think I've ever seen any hummingbirds on there. Here's some crocuses just coming on. These irises are really taking over up here in the corner. It's more of those pretty blue, I think they're called shooting stars. These are, this is a hyacinth right here getting ready to bloom. This is a crane's bill geranium. It's hardy and it comes back every year. Here's more of those mystery lilies and tulips. This is a bird bath that you can use year-round. You don't have to turn it over in the winter. And birds like water most all year round. One time I've never seen birds in here drinking is when there's snow on the ground. I just got a gallon juice can or jar, plastic jar. I just fill it up with water and bring it out here and dump it in there periodically so it doesn't get too stale. But robins love it. There's some, Julie feeds all the neighborhood kitties. Here's here's some more crane's bill geranium. This is, I think, it's Missouri primrose. There's different varieties of that, and I don't know that they're named any differently. This is a lemon lily that I just planted there last year. It seems to come, it's returned. Here's those irises I transplanted a couple weeks ago. It seemed like it was warmer in March than what it is now. Here's some poppies I've planted over here. Here's some more early spring bulbs, two different kinds of them right there. I moved this sidewalk around so the male people can go through here instead of having to go clear out around and come up to the house. Oh, and here's Virginia bluebells coming on right here. Oh, there's more over there. The daffodils are all starting to come on over here too. There's some early tulips over there, early red tulips over there. Boy, it's cold out here. I think it's only about 38. So maybe it's not that one. Maybe it's just above freezing. I wish we'd get some warm weather here in April. It was warmer in March than what it is now. I can't wait to for it to warm up and I can spend more time out here working. The first part of the year is mostly spent moving things around and putting them where you want. It's pretty easy to move things before May the last frost here is around May 15th. More trash. And the way that you can tell for sure that there won't be any frost again is when you see lightning bugs or fireflies, whatever you want to call them. And I'm picking up trash too. Although it was really windy here in the last couple of days, so there's a lot of trash that blew back in here. All these raspberries are starting to start growing. I think raspberries only grow on new canes, so I think these ones that don't have leaves on must be dead canes, and so I need to cut those off. I think they only bear once, and then they die, and then they grow new canes to bear on next year. How all this trash gets in the yard. And here's my asparagus bed. I'll get it cleaned off and see if I can get any asparagus into the house before I eat it on the way in. I'm going over here and throw this trash away. Here's Julie's, there goes one of her kitties. We got 2 cats in the house, so we don't really want any more cats in the house, but she feeds all the neighborhood kitties and puts houses out there for them, ones that don't have houses. This here is going to be my garden this year. Last year it was a great big huge overgrown forsythia bush here, and then up in this end was a huge monstrous area of just orange daylilies and these little blue shooting stars that you saw out front. And over here I had a couple of raised beds, but not much more, and this huge mulberry tree that I took down, and so now I've got to cut up the brush. And the birds just love brush piles. It's fun to watch from inside. They'll eat on these feeders for a while, and then they'll just disappear into the brush piles. And a few of them over there now. So yeah, I need to, this is my compost pile from last year. I usually will move it all around with a garden rake throughout the summer and dig out what I want and leave the heavier uncomposted pieces in, and wood takes a longer time. And now I've got perennials I started from seed in here that they haven't started growing yet. I think this is more Missouri primrose. This is really a wild one though. It gets really tall. That one out front is a different cultivar. I forget the name of this one. I know what it is. It's got little teeny white flowers. Bridal wreath or bridal veil or something. Here's a bunch more of them. Candy dust. I think it's bridal wreath. But I had a row of perennials and annuals here, but I don't know how many were going to come back. We'll see. And this is where I'm going to plant those moonflowers. I'm going to fill this up level with dirt off the compost pile. And I got enough moonflowers to plant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pots of them. So you just bury the whole pot in there and keep watching, and I'll show you how I do that when I do that. I started them inside in March, which might have been a little bit too early, and there's lots of plants in here that just haven't come up yet. They're starting to. You can see them. There's columbine right here. And I'll dig them up and put them around front. A lot of times throughout the year, if the flower bed is real full, still more irises growing in there I could move. If the flower bed is real full, when I buy things or get bare root plants, I'll plant them out here in the shade or over here. This place gets really good morning sun, but it doesn't get the hot afternoon sun. So it's good for new plants. It's kind of like a nursery where you really want to take care of them. So yeah, this is a new garden area, and I'll rake everything into it. I might dig up a lot of these daylilies and put them across the back, and rake up the bigger pieces over into the compost pile. When I'll plant the garden, I'll just spade up a row, and leave the following spades like the one row where you're going to plant, and then leave the rows in between blank. I don't till up the whole garden. I just spade where I'm going to plant. So I might just, if the ground is covered with a mulch, I might just rake an area free for one row and then spade it up and leave the mulch in the rows. Throughout the year though, the weeds eventually grow up through the mulch, but so you can't walk down the rows with a hoe or hoeing up the weeds. You have to go down there and pull them out by hand, but I guess it's whichever is easier. But it's good to get all that organic material into the soil. That's the best thing you can do for the soil, is get all that organic material in there. So garden leaves and grass from grass clippings. This bush here, I'm going to dig it up and move it to make more room for the raspberries. I might put it out back, and we'll see if it lives or not. It doesn't really matter anything anyway, because this is a chocolate vine coming back to life pretty good. It was supposed to have a really, really chocolatey smell and have fruits on it, small fruits, but it's not done any of that yet, so we'll see what happens. This here, that looks like a Nanking bush cherry. I know I planted it years and years ago, but I don't remember now what it is. That's just a log. It's not a tree that was cut down. I've tried putting dirt in there and planting things in there, but the squirrels come along and take them out. My rhododendron is really pretty when it blooms in the spring. There's bleeding heart. There's a bleeding heart right there. In here. You can see it's mostly covered with daylilies. And seedlings from the honeysuckle bush. I'm going to dig those up and put them along back. I would like to have a bush or a hedgerow screening the businesses at the back. These daffodils and Virginia bluebells bloom at the same time, so that's why I planted them together. I thought that would be cool. Here's more bluebells right here, having them bloom all at the same time. It's mostly a spring flower, so by June it's all gone. I'd like to get some more in here and less of this Vinca minor. You can see right here where squirrels have dug things up. Irises like to sit on the top of the soil anyway, so Looks like he even started to eat that iris bulb. Squirrels do eat bulbs. So. It's an old bird feeder that, or bird bath that broke. I've had several bird baths, and things that are sold for bird baths never work, as near as I can tell. And here's some more dishes from where Julie feeds the kitties. The cat food, the dry cat food, the starlings love it, so they just flock out here eating that in the morning after she puts it out for the kitties. But they don't like the wet cat food. That's what's in the dish. I don't know where the kitties, he hasn't come over and got his wet cat food yet. I'm anxious to see how high this Penstemon gets. I like to see a lot of hummingbirds out here. By July or May, when we're all done moving plants around, that's when it's time to come out and start mowing, pulling out the weeds and the grass and dandelions, and wherever there's empty spaces along through here by then for things that haven't come up yet, I'll start filling in the empty spaces with annuals. So somewhere in right about in here there's some red hot poker. I think that might be it right there. But it's got nice tall flowers. Well, that looks like that's about it for the April garden tour. So we'll see you next time. And thanks for watching. And we'll talk to you later on. Bye.